You're now tuning into the sounds of the Potnas podcast.
It's freestyle Tizzle.
Tizzle, man. Hey.
Let's go.
It's the Potnas podcast. It's episode 7.
Yeah.
It's your boy JT, and my name ain't Kevin.
No.
Pause. Oh, goddamn, who is that?
Yeah.
I don't even know, but I'm about to spit the facts, spit the truth.
Yeah.
Man, hold on, pass it to my boy Dino.
Whoa.
Everybody know I'm a black superhero.
Yeah.
Pass it to my boy Young G. Everybody know it's that boy JT.
It's the boy JT, I'm the boy Dino. I don't give a damn and I ain't never been a hoe. I ain't slut shaming, it's that boy speaking truth. It's that boy D, yeah, I'm tall to the roof. I'm getting super high, I'm flyer than the rest. I'm super fly like an S on my chest. Like superhero, like Tizzle said. Damn, by my head, I ain't about to go
That boy D was spitting, son.
You know what I'm talking about?
Hey, get me some goddamn horns.
Give me some love, baby. Give me some of that. You know what I'm talking about?
I know my lane.
You know what? Courtney, this is the finale you should have freestyled, bro. You should have hopped on.
Will you ever freestyle?
I have a freestyle on YouTube.
I don't know if that's counts.
I really do. I'm serious.
No, I know. I think I saw it.
Did you really?
But was that a freestyle?
Yes.
Actually, I haven't
You
seen
heard
it.
it? No. I'm serious. But I'm being serious though.
I do too,
I did it
actually.
my freshman year.
Yeah.
Wait, are you T?
Yes.
Was it one of those ciphers?
Ciphers?
You were not in the cipher.
No. I wasn't in the UT cipher, but I have my own cipher.
Oh, okay.
It's on YouTube.
Okay.
I swear to God.
I need to hear that. Please do.
Yeah, your phone right there.
Okay, so for everybody listening right now, this is the finale. This is big shit. We're definitely recording. So
Oh no, I don't want people to know I got one.
no, too late. We're gonna have to hear this, people. We're gonna play it for the world. Apparently, this guy. If you don't know, Courtney, he's a rapper in a former life.
All right, let's get it started. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Potnas podcast, where we're delivering our perspective on topics, news, and shit. We are your hosts, the Potnas. Starting from the left end of the table, we got Mr. Corn Pop himself, Cornito.
Hey, what up?
Next up is my
Wait,
man.
hold on.
Morgan.
Was that? What was that?
That was popcorn. We got an ad lib just for you.
You don't like that?
Yeah. I mean, you couldn't find one.
I'll give you this.
That was it.
That's like pops. Gun pops, I guess. So we're gonna give you that. Yeah. That's the best I can do, bro.
All right, next up is the partner who's working up the board, my man Dino, aka the Dictionary.
I want some. Yeah, there we go.
The kids love him. And last but certainly
Dino,
not
the
least,
kids.
it's the most important partner, your favorite partner,
Oh, you just.
the boy JT, aka Young Sizzle,
support
also
this.
known as
I can't support
Live
that.
Thrizzle, the life of the party, Mr. Northside
Cut his ass
son.
off.
Give me some explosion.
Don't do it.
Oh, you motherfucker.
Sorry, you said most important.
Oh, on the season finale?
Sorry, bro. I love you so much. I love you so much. Okay, I give you this.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
I'm so fire. I got my own ad-libs. I got at least 3 ad-libs on the board.
That's a fact.
Come on now.
You did them yourself.
Yeah. Do you have any ad-libs?
I didn't do it.
Corn shit?
We're gonna make you some
I
corn.
opted out.
That's
Hey,
one.
that was very appropriate. That's an evil man.
Yeah, right.
You're a villain. You talking some black superhero.
JT, you can sell your voice, bro.
That's a
Oh,
fact.
yeah.
You do have the most radio-friendly voice, I will say.
I appreciate it.
I think I sound pretty sexy,
I'm
too.
auditioning
huh?
for...
Wow. I think my wife would have disagreed.
boy, hell no.
And your hair is uneven. You look dusty.
Yo, that is not cool. That's hilarious. Yo.
That's probably the ad-lib.
That was a perfect one.
That was probably
Yeah,
good.
no. Shout out JT. That was good.
That's the best
Got
and
your
first
hand
use
up in
of
this
that.
pineapple.
D trying to shout his barber out. JT going off.
Yo, first of all, let's not turn this into a roast session, bro. Because I'm king of this mother. Like, listen, nah. Listen, where I'm from, you
He's trying to plug his barber.
cut it out. He did a good job. Hey, shout out to you. You know who you are.
Shout out to our producer for our intro song at Tony Snow CEO.
Hey,
that is at
touch.
Tony Snow
Holla at your
CEO.
boy. I'm trying to come up with a mixtape.
Hey
Tony.
man, it's
Holla at
tax
me.
season. And I have finally finished these motherfuckers, man. Finally. 3
You talking
years
about
of taxes.
That don't sound fun.
Yeah,
Or
three
sexy.
3 years of taxes. Shout out to my tax lady. If anybody needs to get their taxes done, y'all go ahead and hit us up at contact@potnaspodcast.com.
What?
You know,
we ain't doing no taxes.
no. I'm not saying we are, but you know, I got a plug. You know what I mean?
Well, send them to her. Send them straight over there. Yeah, facts.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Before we get into the formalities of today's episode, hey, Courtney, real quick, you know what time it is?
Listen,
Drop it, give me 50, son.
every episode,
Drop it, give me 20.
every
Drop it,
opportunity.
give me 20.
Wow.
Before I do a push up, I would encourage any and everyone never make a when you make a bet and make a defined bet and you decide to do push ups, knock the push ups out.
Set the parameters.
Don't
is
hit
what I
nobody
would
with a
say.
3 push up, 5 push up, 6 push up.
Well, no, I like that.
Bro, you turn down every time. I was trying to get you to knock them out,
Not
but
true.
you're the one that actually wanted to take it. You know,
Nah,
2,
bro.
3.
Not true.
I ain't gonna front. JT,
4
you've been,
push-ups at a time.
you've been dragging this hoe out, but I
Nigga,
love
don't
it.
join his side.
No,
I
that was
love
two-
it.
that
was
would
2
do
weeks
what-
ago.
I would do what he's doing.
Well,
I
then you want to
love
take
it.
his push-ups for him? Take his push-ups for him.
Who
then.
the hell?
Get
Hey,
your
but
ass
you
out
trying to
of
say you can't do
20.
push-ups.
Yeah,
Listen,
get,
y'all
look,
talking
look,
to-
see, and that's your partner right there.
Y'all already know.
And you said, "Come on now."
No,
see,
this is
you
what I'm
the
saying.
one
I'm
trying to
actually
back door and help him out.
You blocking your blessing. I agree
think-
with you. I think the way his
You just
approach.
said you were.
And we got the
both of y'all get down.
we got the producer teed up. I feel like this was the inside job.
Escúchame, por favor. His approach to stretching this out. First of all, that is the approach I would take. Nigga, this bet is gonna last us all season.
You ain't never getting that Papados.
And it did.
You never gonna get that Papados?
You got to give.
Ladies and gentlemen,
How many
let me
does
look
he
at the
need?
camera.
How many you got to give you?
He has 85 left.
I'm gonna be busy.
Oh my gosh! What is?
So do you want to do 20? You want to do 35?
Just let me know.
I'll
the
let you
amount.
do the
Let me
bid.
knock them hoes out. What we
Yeah,
doing?
20.
20. First of all,
they need to all be
ladies
on
and
video.
gentlemen,
They need.
and be mindful, bro. I don't do push-ups for a living, so don't
Javon
do more than like 20.
92 is about to do 20 push-ups.
I want everyone
Get
to
your ass
judge.
down
I want
and do
everyone to
these
judge
20
his
push-ups for
form.
me.
I want everyone to look him in the eye and judge his form. I want y'all to count along with us.
Knock these hoes out real quick.
Yeah.
How many?
Come
How many
on.
left? So you said 85, and this is 20.
Huh? Yep.
So there's
65.
there's 65 left. Okay.
Yep. 1, 2, 3. Fuck him up, Ren. 4, 5.
Get him in.
6.
Get him
Man,
in.
you're kind of moving quite slow. You would not make it.
How many he got?
You would not make it in
How
the Air
many he
Force.
got?
You not counting? I lost count.
Wow.
13, 14, 15,
This ain't looking too good.
16, 17, 18. What's that noise?
Back up.
Fuck him up.
It was a mistake.
Is that how you feeling right now? I feel like that's how you
It
feeling.
was a mistake.
Good job, bro. I'm proud
Feeling
of you.
good?
He got a burn. He got a nice little burn.
My chest a little small.
All right, all right, all right.
I'm out of breath right now. I was holding it in. Oh, damn chest burning.
Hey, look, he was trying to taper his breathing.
Take this damn Adidas.
Why does he keep moving the mic away from his face, bro? What's going on?
Good Lord.
That's good, though.
That's terrible.
More the
That was
story.
great.
I'm not the
Workout.
same.
What a season finale already. Hey, but it wouldn't be a season finale unless we went out with a bang. And ladies and gentlemen, today is a very special
kind of bang?
episode because it is our it is our season finale and we're going out with a bang. And when I say bang, y'all, I literally mean bang. A sexy bang, God damn it. Play my song.
It's the Potnas Podcast. Yeah.
That's kind of sexy.
Tony Snow on the track.
Yeah.
It's a sexy groove.
Okay, Tony.
All right, two touch.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to the sounds of Tony Snow, CEO. That is our producer.
Two touch.
And he had
Shout him
made
out.
us an exclusive,
sexy.
smooth track for us to play for our season finale. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about sex. We're going to talk about love. We're going to talk about everything that goes on in the bedroom and everything, all your curious desires that you've ever wanted to know in the realm of sex education. Ladies and gentlemen, to make this season finale special, we've brought a very, very special guest.
Yeah, man.
We've got the wonderful, the magnificent sex educator and sensation. Y'all may know her as Girls in Tombao, but we know her as Miss Irma Garcia.
What up, Irma? What's going on, good?
Irma, how you doing, girl?
I'm doing well. Oh my gosh, I'm excited.
Irma, it's going to be a great time. I'm so excited. We are all excited. I know this has been in the works for the past like 2 to 3 weeks, but we finally made it happen. And it's so good to see you. I know I've known you for at least 8 years, but before we get into all those details, we just want to take this opportunity to say thank you for coming on our season finale episode. And we're going to go ahead and kick things off with a nice little intro of yourself. So I'm going to ask you a series of questions and feel free to answer them in the rawest, most authentic manner possible. Because we're going to go raw, goddammit, on this episode.
You have to.
Yes, only way to be.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. What's my oh, yeah? Yeah. Oh, yeah, play it again.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So, Irma, tell us about yourself. Where are you from? Where are you now? And what are you doing?
I was born and raised in Houston, Texas.
Oh, yeah. I'm so Houston. Yeah.
Yes, Southwest.
Okay, no sign.
And then I am the state case manager for all minors who want to get an abortion without their parents finding out.
Shout out to you.
Pretty cool, pretty undercovers. I teach sex ed with that program. And what was the other question?
Where are you located right now?
Oh, yeah. I answered that. Austin.
Yeah.
Austin, Texas, baby. Hook 'em horns. And
that'll be the only part that I represent of the city.
Cool. So we're gonna get straight into the actual episode and the juicy topics, and we've broken up into 3 different categories. But we're gonna kick it off first with relationships. We're gonna keep it sweet, all right? But later on, we're gonna get spicy.
Hey,
We're gonna get real spicy.
not too spicy.
You know what I'm saying? Spicy like a Popeye's chicken sandwich.
That's not that spicy.
And we're not messing with that Chick-fil-A, Courtney.
Courtney.
Don't test me. I will make you drop and give me 20
Courtney, you actually got you owe Popeyes an apology right now, bro.
Look to the camera and apologize. Actually, not
Even with the burn biscuit.
So
Did
look,
Corny not like it?
this is my thing, right? So we had a whole conversation last episode, and they shouted out Popeyes, and I was like, but not only did they shout out Popeyes, but they said Chick-fil-A could never, and I was like,
We were
whoa.
closed. That's why. They literally were not open. So
Right, but I mean, it's a weather storm, so whatever. But
Popeyes was there.
I went to Popeyes today, and because they hyped it up so much, I went to Popeyes, and I walked in, and the floors were dirty,
Yeah.
and it was boxes everywhere, and the drink machine didn't work.
All right, enough on.
And I tell you this, I got my food, and I was like, I opened my box up, and my biscuit was burnt. I sent the picture to the group, and the crazy part is, I went silent for a good 7-10 minutes, and I came back, and I was like, listen, y'all, I fucked this food up. that burnt ass biscuit was everything. And I was like, yeah. So you know what, Popeyes, I apologize.
Good job, bro.
From the bottom of my heart,
That's
I
good.
apologize.
I'm proud of you.
For ever doubting you. Yeah. But Chick-fil-A is still the GOAT.
Don't let us catch you slipping again. All right.
JT want to give somebody push up so bad.
So bad.
What's up?
I got some more for your ass. All right. So let's get into the sweet portion of today's topic. And we're gonna get things off with just relationship goals and in regards to what are the other statuses that exist. So for us heterosexual males that are with a woman, married or in a relationship, what is that called, Irma?
Well, we have to actually dive in a little deeper
Get it.
because there's also this factor of gender, and you can be monogamous and be in a gay relationship. So anyone who is in a monogamous relationship, both parties have decided that they aren't seeing anyone else exclusively outside of those 2 people. And it can be straight woman with a gay man. And man can be anybody who identifies as a man, and woman can be anyone who identifies as a woman. It can be a gay woman with a straight man, which is usually actually, research shows that there are more monogamous relationships between gay women and straight men, straight cis men.
What?
Which is awesome and pretty interesting. But the next tier after that is actually the second highest type of relationship, is that there are a lot of men who are queer. They just haven't come out, with also women that are queer. But the next tier after what we were originally talking about is gay men and gay women together.
So question.
Yeah.
Because this is interesting. I feel like I see a lot, like especially in this culture right now, a lot of women are more comfortable complimenting other women. All right. So like, you see it all the time.
Yeah.
I do it all the time.
Right. So what defines a woman as queer? And I hope that's not like a stupid question, but like
no question's a stupid question.
Yeah, like because I know girls obviously have an attraction to other beautiful women. Like who's not attracted to beautiful women? But
And I'm glad you asked that question, Courtney, because it's very important for us to take the initiative to get educated on how terms, differentiate from each other and how they've evolved to today's time, especially like how we all kind of interpret things differently, like
That's
dating and sex and relationships in general.
I've already had my mind blown when you said, like, if I heard correctly, a homosexual woman and a homosexual male,
straight male.
No, the last one she just said, like, was a combination
that there are, both parties are queer.
All right, so what defines a queer woman or a queer man at that?
So at the end of the day, identity is something that only the individual gets to decide. So there's actually folks who you would define queer, but they themselves don't accept that label. Mm-hmm. So it's also important to make that note that while, we can define queer as someone that doesn't fit the binary of male-female relationship, queer, it can be anything outside of that. But if someone does identify as queer and you necessarily don't think that they would be, that doesn't matter because it's what the person identifies as at the end of the day.
Okay. Is it disrespectful to ask them, to elaborate on their status or their gender identity?
Gender and sexuality, two different things. And that's actually the biggest piece of confusion for a lot of folks. Sexuality would be who you're attracted to, what you're attracted to. Gender would be how you identify. So you can be a cis gay male who is attracted to trans women. Yeah. And that's an equation. And that in society would be seen as a regular male and female situation.
So what is that first attachment, that prefix
cis?
Yeah, cisgender means, so basically you identify with the gender that you were born with, the biological sex. So if you were born with the penis and you were labeled as a boy and you identify as a boy, then you'd be cisgender.
Is that something I should have known?
Probably, yeah. I would say so.
Oh my gosh, give me the sad tramp. Yeah.
English, motherfucker.
I knew that, but you know what? JT, that's a really good point. Not everyone listening is gonna know what the hell that means, to be honest. Like I knew what that meant. You're not the only one listening. For those who don't know either, give JT some high fives in the comment section.
No, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know that either.
Yeah,
I just did not know.
They don't teach you these things.
That's that north side.
I will say.
Well, when we were in school, I didn't have sex ed in my school, and actually, Austin ISD is the district in Texas that has the most sex ed of all of Texas. Wow. So and it kind of makes sense, Austin is more of a liberal city compared to, but as of last year, 2020, Texas, the School Board of Education finally decided to review the sex ed curriculum. for the first time since it ever came out in the 1990s. It was released in the 1990s, and they never did anything to it until 2020.
It's actually sad.
Very sad.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Wow. I'm not surprised.
And it's still within, like, if the school district decides to include it, then yeah. And at the end of the day, Texas is very much like they give the parents more rights than they deserve sometimes. So it's still at the end of the day up to the parents in some district if they want their kids to be in sex ed. And the ones that are, but I will say that Gen Z and the generation, the younger generations are a lot more informed about these things. So like younger people will know more about like what cisgender means, what queerness is, and all of that versus millennials and older folks.
So we need to send our kids to Austin then. Okay, if they're not going to expand.
Well, I'm hoping that like all younger generations that come after us are just already going to know this, because it's already on. Like you can see it in the media. I watch like every other Netflix show that I watch has something about sexuality and gender already. And actually, there's a lot of protest against Netflix because it's becoming too liberal. And a lot of shows have these aspects of sexuality and gender that a lot of conservatives don't like. What I actually recommend almost everyone to watch Sex Education on Netflix. There's like 2-3 seasons already out. It's great. It's hilarious.
Oh, okay. We're going to definitely check that out then.
So quick question, Irma, you, what was your major at UT? And then what made you get into like being a sex educator?
Yeah. So what made me get into sex ed is actually a very long answer, but I majored in journalism and minored in women's and gender studies with a focus on human sexuality. So that kind of just like
nice.
It's a perfect amalgamation.
gave me that spark of maybe I want to do something with that, but I still wasn't sure. So that's why I like got a bigger, a degree on journalism just in case. But what made me get into sex ed was, being raised in a conservative state in the South, Texas. We already live in a very conservative environment. And so like add that with religion, like Christianity in and of itself is very oppressive against sexuality and gender and all of that. So there was that. And then respectability politics of like how women are supposed to act in public or with men. Like if they want to have a boyfriend, they have to act a certain way or else they'll be single forever, blah, blah, blah. So like ever since I was younger, I always just kind of like had this thing in my heart that I like hated all of that. Like if my parents wanted to like cover me up all the way up, even at like 8 years old, I'm like, no, I need to show skin. I don't like this. Or like if they would tell me like, no, you can't do that. No, you can't do this because you're a girl. I would get so angry. And finally, when I went to college, I was just like, oh, finally, can't nobody tell me what to do. And that's right.
God damn it.
A lot of people find themselves in college. To be honest.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, no doubt.
College is definitely a journey where you like find yourself or you begin to find yourself, better yet.
Something Irma said that I kind of want to go back to. So Irma, you were talking about how, kids nowadays are going to just naturally know more in certain ways just because of the, progressivism. Things change, things evolve. I mean, media, like literally watching Sesame Street with my daughter, there were themes and things like, oh, okay, that's cool. Like that's there already. That's baked in. I don't have to talk about that. You know what I mean? So do you feel that people have a responsibility beyond that? Like we're millennials, talk Gen X, my mom and my dad, your parents, do they have a responsibility in your eyes or like an obligation to stay abreast of what, no pun intended, of what's going on?
Absolutely. Because everyone is born a sexual being. So you're going to be in your parents' house first before you learn about sex anywhere else. And I actually talk to parents a lot of the times, and talk to them about how like y'all can't it's better to not have euphemisms for body parts. So like
Yeah, that was
you
tough.
know,
Yeah.
vulva would be like cookie for girls, and like penis would be like your like whatever else. Like I know some people say like cucumber and cauliflower. I don't know why it is with food, but so all of those things. So like having these euphemisms for body parts feeds into shame, and the top two would be shame, and it actually makes it easier for pedophiles to groom kids when it comes to abuse. And like who wouldn't want to have parents that they can come to talk about these like shush in society. I totally agree that parents are the first sex educators in a child's life, and that's where the main foundation of how kids view sex will be.
So real quick, there's something you hit on that I think people may dig on. So as a parent of a young child, when it came time for me to raise my daughter, and we came up in a house where like we said cookie for, you know, a female's parts, we said things like ding-a-ling.
Say it.
For the
Vulva.
vagina. Damn.
No, actually, that's actually incorrect. See?
Look, correct me.
Vulva is the correct term. Vagina is internal genitalia. Vulva
Oh,
is
you're
external. So
right.
what you are talking about is a vulva.
You didn't know that shit.
No, I mean, listen, let me tell you.
Vulva, viola, vulva.
There's the vulva, the inner outer labia. There's your. Bro, come on, I'm like, we get it.
You a sex educator too?
I used to be in a former life, in a previous life. No, but Pete, for real. So
ED, no.
So okay, so I feel like I need to go re-educate my child, because we definitely use the word vagina, and she doesn't say, she says vagina, which is hilarious. But it was so uncomfortable for me, and why? I guess just because, like you said, coming up, that was so taboo. Wow. And I grew up in a very open household, like we talk about it, but just the idea of actually calling it the vagina, the vulva. Now I need to go re-educate. It was just so. It was so uncomfortable for me as a Black cishet male. My wife she was a lot more comfortable with it. And it was that, in fact, when she was like, yo, it makes it a lot easier for predatory behavior if you're calling it a cookie, right? And what do we love, you know, I was like, okay, I get, no, seriously, I get it. So it was an easy sale for me, but I was like, I don't know why, but it was so uncomfortable. So, I mean, do you have any like strategies, tips, or just insight for people like me, or even older, where all these things are very uncomfortable, but like you said, we have an obligation, we have a responsibility to educate our children, and hell, educate ourselves. How do you get past that hump?
Well, first and foremost, the individual, like you have to become comfortable with sexuality in general, like not just male sexuality, but female sexuality as well. So like you can't necessarily talk to your daughter about sexuality when you yourself like may see it shameful or may see it some type of way that isn't empowering, you know? So start there. So
I like that.
And then once you kind of like have like you've educated yourself and like removed the stigma that comes along with that, talking about the topics that they ask is the best way to kind of start, because kids don't necessarily know anything about sex unless they actually ask you about it. Like they probably saw something or whatever. So at the end of the day, you are the expert and you decide when you want to talk about it. So you decide when. And then second, it's also important, like what I said earlier, we are born sexual beings. So kids masturbate. And babies masturbate. So most likely.
Okay, hold on. You can't just keep past
kids. Like how young? Like
babies. As soon as they start getting an idea of like what sensation is and their body parts.
Oh yeah.
They will like explore their body. Like they'll touch their arm because like, what is this?
I mean,
this is my arm. And then there are times that like, especially penises, like boys will like touch their penis because it's like something sticking out of their body, right?
Yeah,
just touching yourself is considered like masturbation. I thought it was like actually
with the intention of
stroking the turkey neck and all of that, huh? And rubbing the.
We get it. We get what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, that is actually how can I say it? I think like what you're trying to say, like masturbation already has a lot of shame attached to it, right? Like it's something that you do like in private, shush, like people don't really talk about it. And when they do talk about it, it's still seen as something weird.
Yeah.
Moms will actually be able to speak to this a lot more maybe than dads, because historically moms bathed kids more, and they will be able to let you know, like, yeah, he was like touching his penis, but it wasn't necessarily to like stroke it or anything. It was just more so out of exploration, like, oh, what is this? Okay. And then at the end of the day, it feels good. Sensation in the genitalia is there since the day you're born.
That's so right there. I think that's a moment. That's something that, because I think people have like this idea that babies are just born and they're these noodle neck creatures that don't feel, but like you're born with like feeling in every. So that's a good point. I wouldn't have thought of that.
And I'm glad that you explained it in that context, Irma, because now with that explanation, I can definitely, recount and recall a lot of moments when I was growing up where I experienced that type of sensation of like just exploration of my body.
Are you going to tell us the first time you masturbated, bro?
No. Come on. But I didn't know.
But it's also important to remember, like, not adding shame. And like, we do have these comments, right? Like, oh yeah, like the first moment that all of us masturbated, we were kids, but we didn't know what that was.
I didn't know that was that falls in that category of masturbation, because I knew I was just looking down there and I was just exploring with it. I'm like, oh man, how long can it go?
Wait, I have a question though. I have a question. So this is all like very, very interesting to me. So I'm curious, like from your perspective, right? We want to be open about this. We want to let our kids know this is what it is. We want to be open about sexuality, X, Y, and Z. You walk into a room and your son, your daughter is masturbating. Is this like an open door policy type of thing? Like, oh, baby, it's okay. Just keep going. Like,
let me get you some lotion.
Like, baby. You see what? So, like, where, like, to me, growing up, I feel like people have like an automatic idea that this is like a private thing. You know what I mean?
And a bad thing.
At what line is it like? What do you think? Like, what are your thoughts on stuff like that?
Good question.
Or maybe how should we go forward with treating masturbation when we first encounter it with our relatives or our youth or children?
Yeah, that's actually a great question. Who was that?
That was me. That's Courtney.
Yeah. That's actually a question that I get a lot from parents, believe it or not. So one, if y'all have already had this conversation about masturbation, it's still always going to be awkward. We're humans. Awkwardness is there. But what I was taught and what I've learned in my professional experience versus like personal, you always want to have this talk of like masturbation is something that you do in private. So when you do want to do that, like just make sure to lock the door, like make sure you're not like where people can see you, blah, blah, blah. Because if you do it in the park, you'll get arrested. So it's more so talking about the boundaries of it, but also letting you know, like, by the way, this is not anything bad. I do it too. We all do it. It's something that's completely normal. It's just something that we do in our like private area, like our room and stuff. Have y'all noticed that in this conversation, every time we say something about masturbation or something new sexual, like someone makes a joke?
Oh no, I'm a joker. I do that. Yeah, I have.
Okay. Those jokes, believe it or not, actually add to stigma and shame. And it's coming from a positive place. It is. It's coming from a positive place. I'm still childish sometimes. And like, I look at a cucumber and I'm like, and so it's completely normal. But if we are trying to use it as a teachable moment, and if we are trying to talk to the younger folks about sexuality, it's one of those situations where you have to keep your composure. You have to be intentional about like not making jokes of like, hey, this is completely normal. Yeah. Masturbation is something that everyone does. It starts when you're little, and it's a great way to explore your body and to know your body. And if you have any questions, let me know and just keep it moving.
So I think that starts first with, like you said, though, just to kind of bring it back home, it starts with us, because I'm cracking these jokes and now I feel like a dick. But I mean, I think it does start with like looking at self and just getting really comfortable with the conversation of sex.
Mm-hmm. All righty. So thank you for enlightening us and educating us on that portion of sex ed. Now we want to kind of get into, I said it before that we were going to get into relationships, but before we get into that, I just wanted to know, so we talked about monogamy earlier, and there's another status considered polyamory. So what is polyamory and what does that look like?
Or, I mean, could you run us through like a few different ones other than monogamy?
There's polyamory, there's polygamy, there's monogamy, there's open relationships. We can talk about it all, but I'll start with polyamory, which is probably what y'all are more interested about. Polyamory would be a relationship style where all parties involved have consented to see other people and have a romantic relationship with someone else while seeing a primary person. Now, every polyamorous relationship does get to dictate how they are labeled. So some people have a primary partner and then the other partner who came later, maybe.
Side piece.
Oh,
not necessarily a side piece, because side pieces would be like don't necessarily know about, like you're.
There's usually there's some discretion involved with that.
Exactly.
Yes.
Versus polyamory, like everyone knows about everyone. And then there are some situations where everyone is romantically involved with everyone. So for example, me and another guy, like we are a monogamous relationship, but then we talk about, hey, let's open this relationship up and become polyamorous. Okay, cool. Do you want to be polyamorous too? Or can I be polyamorous by myself, or what's up?
Oh,
gotcha.
So
wow, that's interesting.
Some people end up being like only one person in the relationship is polyamorous versus two. And then there's some times where both partners are polyamorous. So like the boyfriend will have his other partner, and then the girlfriend will have her other partner, and
So
then everyone knows about everyone.
So with that kind of relationship though, like do both parties have to approve of the other person's like other person? Like, you know what I mean? Like, do you have to approve of maybe
I don't
your
think you have any
partner's
say.
other who he or she chooses?
So not necessarily, but because communication is such a big piece in polyamorous relationships, which is something that is like a badge of honor for polyamorous relationships versus monogamy. It's actually pretty interesting. Like research shows that there's more communication involved in polyamorous relationship than in monogamous relationships. So yeah, people don't necessarily need to approve of the other person, but if the primary partner has some type of feelings toward it, it is something that has happened in the past where like a different partner is chosen, or like they decide not to be polyamorous. So like a lot of that is considered.
Oh, so like jealousy, or not even jealousy. So like maybe you're like, I just don't feel comfortable.
That is a human thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's talk about jealousy as well. Like it being normal, it being a thing. Jealousy has actually also been like something that, oh no, people shouldn't be jealous, but actually jealousy is such a very human emotion that people kind of like shove down and like take this badge of honor, like I'm not jealous. Well, I mean, you don't have to be, but it is completely normal.
So as someone who has been both polyamorous and I'm assuming monogamous at some point in time, what are some of the things, I mean, from someone on one side of the fence, that like some of the challenges, I guess, and you even gave a statistic that's really interesting, but it's honestly not surprising that polyamorous relationships are actually better at communication than monogamous relationships. What tip could you give from somebody sitting over here on a monogamous side that you polyamorous, people that practice polyamory?
Right.
Great
like
question.
What's something that you could give to somebody over here like
really
this,
great
just
question.
from a communication perspective?
Well, in general, I always talk about communication being such a cliche advice that you hear all the time. But honestly, it's a gem because it works for relationship health and for sex lives. So you can't necessarily have the sex life that you want if you don't communicate what you want. And you can't necessarily have the type of relationship that you want if you don't communicate what you want. The issue tends to be of like how to communicate, because we weren't necessarily taught. Like most people unfortunately come from like maybe unstable households where like their parents didn't really do a good job of setting an example. So like, we don't have our parents to look back on to kind of see what healthy communication looks like. But I honestly always say communication is key to absolutely everything.
Yes, absolutely. That's definitely one of the top priorities in my relationship is communication. My love language. We can definitely get to talking about love languages. Maybe if we have time. But my love language is acts of service, Irma, and tied to that is communication. The way that I operate, just in just about every facet of life is communication. It has to be a top priority because I feel like and I learned something this week in my primary job, my day job is the difference between low context and high context across the world from a global perspective. And low context is basically where you reiterate, how you go into a business meeting, you provide the pre-read before the meeting. Then you start off with a summary of what you're going to talk about. Then you talk about it. And then at the end, you give a summary of what you're going to talk about. And then you got high context where, in countries like Japan and Russia, they give very little intent with how they communicate. And then at that point, they just expect you to read between the lines. And I know a lot of people that are in relationships that are like that. And
it's a lot of between the line reading.
Yeah. And it works for some people.
What you want to eat?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to eat.
Yeah.
No word. Why your hand on my fries? Like, what's going on?
Yes, communication, Irma. I agree. I completely 100% agree.
Yes.
It should be top priority.
But before I have people out here communicating all types of ways, which is, communication is great. But I've definitely had folks in the past been like, Irma said communicate, and they were over here calling people out their name. Yes, communicate, but there is still ways in doing that, like time and place. Important types of emotional intelligence.
Yes.
To do this,
So I got a question, and this kind of, I guess, transitions into the spicy.
Yes, we
portion.
are.
Because communication is definitely key within a relationship. Great. That's definitely a gem. But specifically with sexual desires, I think one of the biggest things and one of the most uncomfortable things sometimes for certain people is really, really, communicating with your partner. This is what I really like. Or I don't know, sometimes people go through them, and I've been a victim of it, going through the motions and just trying to making it work. But I don't know. What are your thoughts as far as from a sex ed perspective and you're being with a partner, communicating, letting them know, hey, sexually, this is what I like, or maybe sexually, this is not what I like.
Some healthy ways of communicating sexual. Yeah.
So we go back to knowing your body. That's step one, and knowing yourself. So you won't be able to communicate what you want if you don't even know what you want, what you like, right? So having that open conversation about masturbation being a thing, if you are with a partner, and this has happened in the past that I've spoken to folks that have been with partners that have never masturbated before, talking to them about hey, I cannot give you the sex life you want unless you also know your body, right? Mm-hmm. And that's totally fine. Here, for Valentine's Day, let me give you a sex toy. Making it
ultimate accountability right there.
Yeah, making it something that's normal, and then also having ways to kind of relate to the other person what you like. So with women specifically, it's research shows that it is harder for women to communicate their desires just because of all of the toxic masculinity, patriarchal socializations that women go through in society, and ways that women can talk to their partners about what they like is usually in the moment. If, for example, if you're giving someone oral sex and you don't necessarily, and that person doesn't necessarily like what you're doing, they can guide your head, here, go this way or go that way. Insert one finger first and let me see if I like that. Insert two fingers then and let's see if I like that. And then there's going to be talking while you're having sex. And so first off, being okay with that.
I was going to say that's normal for every.
Yes. And a lot of folks don't think that that's a lot of folks have mentioned and surveys have been done where folks think it's no, you that just kills the mood. I'm
some people don't say they don't enjoy it. Do you think they could grow to enjoy it?
Absolutely. But it's also at the end of the day, like obviously what that person
What they
likes.
enjoy.
But you also cannot get anywhere if you're not talking
communicating.
about it, right?
Mhm.
So like
Come on now.
definitely. So
Sorry.
definitely knowing your body and then also talking about it is one. And then if you necessarily don't think that the bedroom is the right place, and the bedroom isn't always the right place, talking about it while you're cooking, while you're like doing something else, to kind of like keep your mind occupied to something else. So like the other person's attention is somewhere else as well. So like if you're trying to tell them, hey, I don't necessarily like when you, let's see, like give oral to like sucking a dick, but not every guy likes juggling, like their balls getting juggled at the same time. So talking about like, oh, by the way, I love, so starting with like an affirmation. I love how you do this, and that.
Yeah.
But let's do this next time because I don't necessarily think I'm feeling this part that you did, but I love everything else. So kind of like going back to that affirmation so that the person doesn't feel bad.
Starting with a positive. Yeah, that's good. That's good and just in
That
life. Let me tell you right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I think it works here too, people.
Very, very interesting. Great question, Corn. So we have officially crossed the spicy line, and we're gonna get hotter.
No, you got to sound like a sex hotline from like 2005 or something.
Hey,
BET Uncut right now.
I've been told that I can be the next voice for the Magic 102 Quiet Storm. You know what I'm saying? So since we're on the topic of communication and sex, how far does role play and foreplay go?
There's different types of desire. So there's spontaneous desire, and then there's responsive desire. Responsive desire is what most people are, which means that you need foreplay, that you need something to get you in the mood. Spontaneous desire is folks are folks who like, yeah, they can like have sex then and there and like, let's do it. Most folks have spontaneous desire in the beginning of a relationship because of all of that energy, that new relationship energy. You know,
So novel.
Yeah, it's your new toy. Like you just want to play with it all the time. Yeah. And then almost all couples just glide into responsive desire, which is not, there's nothing bad with that. It's just how it is. That's just how human bodies work. Sex can be whatever you want it to be. Some people define foreplay as their full sex, and that can be sex as well. In the sex ed world, like we don't necessarily say foreplay, we say erotic bridges because it's a bridge.
Hello.
Erotic bridges.
Hello. That's a
Why is
new
it
one. I just leveled up right now, man. Erotic bridges. That's some new shit.
Like, go ahead.
Elaborate. Like
I'm
erotic
never saying
bridges,
foreplay again.
are
Are you kidding me?
Are they meant to be? Are those bridges meant to be broken?
No, they're meant to be crossed. Are you kidding me? You crossed those bridges.
I'll be
I'm
breaking
trying to
them
cross them.
motherfuckers, you know
What'd you call it? I'm sorry. Erotic bridges? I'm trying to cross them.
That's right.
Elaborate that.
I like that.
Yeah. Could you enlighten us on a little bit more of why?
What are some forms of erotic bridges?
Yeah.
Erotic bridges actually are whatever it is that someone needs to get in the mood to get to a next stage in that sex life. So, for example, the most common type of erotic bridge is making out. So for making out, that's the first step. And then you get to like feeling up each other. And then you get to maybe oral sex. And then you get to penetrative. Now, this is the pattern for cis hetero couples, for hetero couples, not like for everyone. So it's important for me to like make that distinction.
That's good. Yeah.
But you can do it however you want. There's no specific order. And I think a lot of folks kind of like stick to that order instead of like mixing it up. Maybe start your erotic bridge with having oral sex first, even if you're not feeling it, but there's that intention of like, okay, I want to have some type of sex tonight. And I know this person likes oral for me.
We love crossing this erotic bridge right here. Yeah.
Exactly. So like, let's do that. Watching porn together to like get in the mood. There's couple sex toys where one other person is controlling the remote while the other person is having the toy.
Interesting concept.
I've seen that. Like, well, I've seen
Pornhub. I know they
I saw a video on Twitter where like a couple, and this could be fake, but a lady, had something on, and then the guy was like at lunch, and like he kept like turning it up. Like, I don't know if that's like a real thing, but like,
it is absolutely a real thing. Here is one that I actually recommend folks. It's called the chorus, and this is the remote, and then this is what the person with the vulva would wear.
So I can play a video game up in the.
That's crazy.
Okay, cool.
That's
cool.
very interesting. So, okay, now, Irma, would you say that would make a good, like, Valentine's Day gift or anniversary gift or something?
Oh, really?
Absolutely. And we've even recommended folks to like have a whole Valentine's Day out of it, where like, you don't have to wait until nighttime, or
Yeah.
So you get home to a bed.
I take it by your endorsement of this product that you would encourage the use of sex toys as it's something we should all normalize in our minds. It's not something that's taboo that falls out of your auntie's closet when you open it up looking for paper towels.
Absolutely. It is something that is completely normal. They're just regular toys that aid in, pleasure. And there is a lot of taboo, just mainly because of the type of sex shops that you see. They're actually more common in the South, where alleys and like XXX ugly ass signs.
It's bad.
No, because if you go to maybe California, for example, I actually did like a quick little internship at a sex shop in LA, and their sex shop was like a freaking, like you were going to a Target.
Oh wow!
It just felt so lovely and so at peace, and like there was no shame. I mean, there's going to be shame internally with folks, but the type of design that that it was completely different. So yeah, society has played and fed into this taboo of sex toys, but that's why sex educators exist, and a whole bunch of people exist to talk about like, hey, this is totally fine. I have a whole chest. You can't see it because it's hard to carry it, but see, I have a whole penis right there and a vulva. Those are plush toys that I used for educational purposes. And then I have little penises right here too on my bookshelf.
Not gonna lie.
This is like a whole thing.
What is that?
Wait, what was that?
It's the whole chest.
That's the chest.
Oh, awesome.
I thought that was like a footrest.
That was heavy.
I'm not gonna lie.
There?
No. That vulva back there looks like a sushi. I'm not even gonna lie. I thought it was like a sushi. Pillow.
Well, it's too far for me to get right now, but it's a vulva and a penis, and they're like this big.
Dang. Okay.
One thing that I've learned just in my, we're talking about sex, we're talking about socialization, communication, getting spicy, mixing things up. I think there are a lot of common misconceptions, and you've already dispelled a ton of them, just like sex myths, coming from the perspective of someone who has, kind of the same upbringing, or at least similar upbringing from what it sounds like to what you had, Christian, Southern, there's certain socialization, certain things that are just inherently in us because of the environment in which we come from. Are there any things that, I'm thinking about our experiences with like a partner, for instance. We're talking about sex toys and things like, lubrication and, for someone who is very uncomfortable with this, and I'm not talking about myself, but just in general, how do you recommend like lowering the barrier to entry? Because in LA, right, it's normal. They have Targets with dildos and vulva plush toys, but down here, like you said, it's
you can actually find them at the Targets now and Walmart's now.
So I don't even got to go to Cali. Come on, now. I'm going back.
You can go 45.
Wait, there are sex toys in Target?
Yes, and Walmart.
What section is that?
To me.
Is it in the toy section?
No,
it's where you would get condoms and lube.
Okay.
Interesting.
So that just alone shows that there's a shift in culture, right?
That's a fact.
Like Walmart, one of the biggest retailers out there with sex toys. I don't remember ever seeing it. That's crazy.
Well, you weren't looking for them either, so like you won't find it unless you're looking for it.
Target and Walmart sex toys near the, what I mean? I also haven't had a condom in years.
She got some more products out here. What is that? Lube, lotion.
Enlighten us. What is there? That remote control
there's a lot.
Eater. I didn't know that
there's
was
so much.
Like a bottle.
Okay, so if someone, you're saying like beginner wise that someone isn't comfortable, so I'm not going to recommend that remote control one, because that one does require some type of comfort, because it's not always initially comfortable. Like you kind of have to get situated with it. So for someone who is like trying to get into the world of sex toys, most people with vulvas love clitoral stimulation. That's where they get most pleasure off. So you want to go for clitoral suction or clitoral stimulator type toys. So suction would be toys that like actually like suck, like it's self-explanatory, and then stimulator would be like more of a vibrator clitoral area. And then if you use a silicone type of toy, which is what I would recommend because it's most body safe, then you would use a water-based lube, because if oil-based or hybrid lube, and then water-based would be if it's not a silicone type of toy, because if it's water and silicone, then it kind of dries up, and then you're just kind of like, there's a lot of friction, and it doesn't always feel that good, or you'll have to like keep pumping. But if you use a hybrid or oil-based lube, it's the glide is going to be continuously there. So for someone who's trying to get into the world of sex toys, I would recommend bullet, things that aren't necessarily like insertable, but more so just like external type of stimulation. And then, and even you can use them on them. So like you find the clit.
I think that's a good way to get into it, actually.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Irma, that was fantastic. Thank you for giving us the sweet, the spicy, the raw, the authentic discussion and educating us and enlightening us of sex ed. Now we're going to talk about our segment. We're going to get into our segment, Trivia with Irma. All right. We like to call this segment Men Don't Know Shit About Sex.
Well, apparently not.
I love this title though.
Oh, yes.
Apparently
yes.
not. Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, let me lay down the foundation of this segment of Men Don't Know Shit About Sex. Irma is going to provide trivia questions in the realm of sex education, and Courtney Darian and I will attempt to provide the right answer. And so, yeah, we're just going to get right into it. First of all, can we ask how many? We are not privy to these questions at all. These are coming up right on the fly.
I feel like I've got a good education. I think I'm going to ace this quiz. Right? I ain't going to lie.
You think you're going to pass?
Yeah, boy.
We were sitting front row.
We were listening. Taking notes and everything.
Yeah.
Y'all asked it. Okay. So we're going to see. Can we know how many questions you asking, Irma?
10.
10.
Oh,
okay.
I mean, I can do less. I just made 10.
Do your thing.
10 it is.
Do your thing. You said 10 is?
No, 10 it is. 10 it is.
This guy.
Wow. I got titties on my mind. You know?
Apparently
it's going down
so.
tonight. All right. So, Irma,
Some wrong
question. I'm going to go ahead and just pass it off to you, Irma. Go ahead and take.
Why do we put up with this?
Go ahead and carry it away.
Okay. Well, just as a heads up, this quiz is about sex history.
Okay.
And sex ed in regards to like the science of the body and all of that. So I wanted to do both just to like not make it too sciencey.
I'm so ready.
Yeah. And I mean, that gives our audience a more round, holistic picture. I dig it. We're coming from different angles.
And plus that helps D because he did not know anything about science in high school.
Well, you crazy.
All right.
Hey,
well, y'all ready?
No, well, hold on. Courtney, put your phone down.
Bro, I'm text me. Bro, can you?
He's using Google. He's using Google already. He fucking shit.
He literally had sex ed in Google in his phone already. That's ridiculous.
That's a lie.
He was on Irma's page.
Irma,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna make you drop again.
He was looking at Irma's Instagram, getting all the answers about the purple dildos.
All right. Well, y'all let me know when y'all ready.
We're ready.
Let's go.
All right. The first question is short. How long is the vaginal canal? Ooh. A, 7 to 8 inches. B, 5 to 6 inches. C, 3 to 4 inches.
3 to 4. 3 to 4.
Nah, I'm going with A.
I go A.
Man, you saw how big that chorus toy that she had?
All right, so let's go. What do you, JT? What are you going?
Yeah,
I'm going with A. 7 to 8 or whatever the longest is.
I'm going C.
Okay.
Courtney, it's going C.
All right. The answer is C, 3 to 4 inches.
Wow. Whatever.
Okay.
That's because he put out.
Okay, well, how do this? Yeah, he had it in his phone. Irma, he's cheating. Irma, right now, I'm so sorry for his cheating behavior.
Memorized.
Okay, now Irma. Now,
phones need to get taken up.
Listen, my phone was down. We got video.
Hold on.
Sam, you're the security.
We got video. I was just right.
Irma, Irma, I have a quick question. And I promise I won't have follows for every single one of these, or maybe I will. Okay, that seems very shallow for the vaginal canal.
So here is the answer. The explanation to the answer. So the vaginal canal is 3 to 4 inches when it's at rest, and then it can expand when
Of course. See?
Wait, hold on.
So the vaginal canal expands when someone is horny. It expands when someone has a baby, and it can snap back to its normal 3 to 4 inches. And
So
of course, everyone is different, so it's not going to be a straight 3 or straight 4, but for the most part, the average is 3 to 4 inches.
So Courtney was only half right then.
I was about to say, I call foul on that because you didn't say how long is it when it's aroused.
I'm sorry.
How long is the vaginal canal? Like in general, the actual research of it has been at rest 3 to 4 inches.
Irma, you explained yourself very well.
It's okay. Eroticism, it can be up to
next question.
10.
Well, the next question is now on y'all. In 2015, the British Journal of Urology International did a study and found that the average length of an erect penis. So now here's the difference. This was an erect penis.
This is in British too. So in Great Britain. So
cut it out.
Well, they had different folks from Europe and different folks from America. So it was a little more comprehensive.
Thank you for that.
So the average size of an erect penis?
A, 5 to 16 inches.
Well,
B,
wait a minute. I'm so sorry, Irma. Continue. That was a broad. What? That was a broad.
5.16 inches.
Okay.
What? Okay.
5.16 inches.
Okay. Gotcha.
Oh, I thought it was 5 to 6. I was like, God dang.
I was about to say,
let her finish. Y'all. Let her finish.
B, 6.12 inches.
Okay.
C, 4.59 inches. Or D, 3.61 inches.
I'm gonna go with the C. The 4 point whatever that was.
I'm gonna go A on this one. 5.16.
Average. Let's. I don't know. I'll do just to go against the grain because I was gonna say C. I'm gonna go D.
All right. The answer is 5.16 inches.
That's B, right?
Wait, wasn't that A?
Yes, that is A.
Oh, I'm tripping. I thought she said 5 to 16. You clarified it though. You clarified it. I'm sorry.
That's your fault. Your bad.
I'm sorry.
Sorry. Next question, Irma.
Question 3.
Question number 3.
All right. So now I want to do a little history. What year was Pornhub launched?
Oh. Courtney, you know this one.
Do we get multiple choice?
First of all.
Or maybe it's JT with these headphones. I don't know.
I will give y'all an era. It's either 2000s or 2010. So y'all kind of like
Okay.
choose something between those.
So JT, you go first.
I'm going to say 2011.
That's too new. I'm gonna go. Boom, boom. I'm gonna go 2008.
Okay.
I'm gonna go in the middle. I'm gonna say 2009.
Okay. Well, someone has 2 points. The answer is 2007.
Fuck! Wait, no.
Well, sorry, half a point maybe because he was
I was
close.
closest. No, that's how it works. Thank you.
Whatever. Okay.
I think I remember when that happened. 07, I graduated. So. Y'all hear about that new Pornhub? Go ahead.
So this is something that we talk about with young people in sex ed class in high school. So I thought it would be great to talk about it with adults. Educators often use the acronym FRIES, and we talked about FRIES earlier, to help people learn how we can obtain consent during sexual activities. List each word that the acronym FRIES represents to show how you can check for consent. So tell me what FRIES stands for.
This is good. Go ahead, JT. You go first.
From a consent
It's an acronym.
So, yeah, consent.
Yes, consent perspective.
Now, can I ask? Can we get a clue? Is it a sentence? Like, does FRIES equal a sentence?
It's not a sentence. They're just all like
random words.
Yeah.
Okay.
First.
Uh-oh.
Prize.
Responsible.
Feeling really.
It's not a sentence. It's not a sentence.
Oh, she did say that. It's a random word. She did say that. Okay, good job.
All right.
Safe. For the S.
You already lost. It's FRIES.
Yes, it's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
I said S. Safe for the
Oh,
S.
safe for the S.
Oh, okay, so I'm gonna
See,
start.
this is how Courtney be trying to.
F is first.
to get
As in,
ahead in life.
first, you should seek consent. R
First.
is respect, as in you should respect the person's wishes.
Okay.
It would probably be individual.
Insertion, as in you don't insert unless you get a yes. Hey,
Well, y'all are doing great.
E for
I wasn't right, by the way. This is
Everybody can get that.
okay, no.
And S for say yes.
No, I like safe.
Or no.
But no, that's
Safe.
safe. No, that's safe.
Safe.
Not it. There's no way.
sex is okay.
That's a lot. That's like what?
Well, to not spend too much time on one question because we still have like 6
I'm
more.
good.
The answer is F is for freely given.
Mm.
You freely
So
have to
proper.
give consent. Like it's not
Yeah.
something
Good.
that someone has to get out of you.
Mhm.
R is for reversible. Just because both of y'all are naked, halfway already about to start doing whatever it is that y'all are doing, if someone says, actually, never mind, it is
Reverse-
completely valid,
Oh.
you can reverse consent.
Good. Interesting.
I, informed. Both parties have to know what they're getting into.
No, you didn't.
I didn't.
E is for enthusiastic. Again, you cannot force the consent from someone.
Mr.
Okay.
Entertainment enthusiast
No, that's
himself.
an S.
And S is specific. They have to be specifically consenting
That
to
is
sex.
very good.
Like
Yeah.
maybe some people like consented to making out and
Yes.
not specifically sex. So it's important to be specific about what y'all are going to do.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for that, for enlightening us.
That was a good one. They should have
Yeah,
taught
that
that
was.
like when we
Yeah.
were coming out.
Can I get some fries, please? Yeah.
Fellas, y'all remember that.
What is this? Question number 5 now?
Yes. Question number
Alright.
5. Sperm swims up the vagina through the uterus and finds an egg waiting in the blank. A, fallopian tube. B, ovary. C, ovum. D, waiting room.
Ovary.
Nope.
No.
I'm going with C.
So what's your answer?
C.
Okay, your answer.
I'm
Tiffany?
going with D shit because everybody said no
The
to B,
waiting
so
room?
I'm gonna go.
I don't think he was listening.
All right,
I'm
see shit.
I know it's not fallopian tubes. That's a breech birth. So no, wait, that's a endo
You're very in tune with
It's a
women
in-
parts.
some-
That's good, D.
endoscopic. Yeah. I'm gonna go with the uterus.
Is that a?
Was
that's
that
not
a-
even a-
Oh,
I
lower.
don't think that was
Okay.
this nigga won't pay
It was
attention.
ovary or ovium or waiting room.
Wait, ovium and ovary.
Oh.
So I'm gonna go ovium
What was it? Ovium.
So C.
Ovum.
Ovum. Sorry,
ovum.
ovum.
or ovaries.
It'll be
So again, A is fallopian tube, B is ovary, C is ovum, D is waiting room.
I'm gonna go with C. Ovum.
See,
Okay.
See, so I'm gonna go B. I gotta be different. You
All
think?
right, all of y'all are wrong. The answer is fallopian tube.
So okay, I thought that was called an endoscopic.
And I'm
or-
sitting here looking at the producer, and she over here like shaking her head like it's definitely
I
not that
thought that
one.
was like
you
a
don't even know
bad
your
thing.
body.
So a lot of stuff happens in the fallopian tube. So you're not necessarily like thinking of something bad. It's just more so this specific action. Sperm swims up the vagina, it goes through the uterus, and the eggs are waiting in the fallopian tube.
So then
Okay.
what?
But that's not where they necessarily coagulate.
That's not necessarily where the baby is born.
Got you.
Oh,
Okay, cool.
Where the baby is like resting.
Conceived or like is not conceived. You know what I mean? Like,
So what are the ovaries for?
what is that called?
we don't. Y'all, we ain't got to go through every.
No.
Yeah, let's keep going. And I think that the next one is actually very interesting. What is the only state in the United States of America that criminalizes the sale of sex toys? A,
Sorry.
South Carolina.
Mm.
B, Montana. C, Utah. D, Alabama.
D, Alabama, baby. I'm going with dirty Alabama.
Hey man,
What's the most?
conservative? Of
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
I thank you.
I
Guys.
just think about all that time, that whole time where
Tread
they,
lightly, my friend.
all those different states, were putting in their bid for on how to control and tell what a woman can do with her body, and Alabama was one of them. So my answer is D.
That's still going on.
Irma, could you go real quick one more time? What was it?
South
Yeah.
Carolina.
It's A, South Carolina. B, Montana, C, Utah, D, Alabama.
Ooh, Utah.
I'm going Montana.
You're
I'm gonna go. Alabama as well.
All right. I think JT, this is your first point. Alabama. That's right.
Alabama.
Yeah, I've actually heard about this. So that was a bit of a
He
cheat.
don't get a point because he was trying to.
Thank you.
He's gonna steal the point.
Thank you.
All right. Question number.
This is also something that's super helpful for folks to know. If used perfectly, condoms are 98% effective at preventing pregnancy. But that is if you are perfect. But under normal use, human use, condoms are blank % effective at preventing pregnancy.
Oh shit.
Uh-oh.
And no
A,
more.
70%. B, 89%.
Okay.
C, 60%, or D, 85%.
It's not scary.
I'm gonna go with 70. I think 70%.
Courtney. Oh, it's me.
Otherwise, I was going to use 30%.
Man, that's kind of spooky. I'm gonna go 85.
Yeah, I'm going D, 85.
Yeah.
That's right. It's 85%.
Oh man.
So it's super important to remember that when you're reading the labels of things and they say like, oh, it's 90% effective, is it robots that are using this or is it humans? Because I think that's what a lot of folks get confused, and it's actually what we test on a lot. Like, yeah, you can use condoms all you want, but if you're not using them correctly, if you're not putting them on correctly, getting the size that you have to get, it's not going to work.
See, I hang out with a lot of ignorant people that talk about that man, it only works 70% of the time. That whole be snapping off and stuff.
They're not using it correctly.
They're not using it correctly. They're probably putting it on backwards or invertedly. All right, question number 8. Really I gotta come back now. Dino is like ahead by like
Thank
what,
you.
3 points.
Sexually enlightened person who likes to.
I think we have 3 left.
Let's do it.
Number 7.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's do it.
True or false? And we talked about this earlier. It is safe to use oil-based lube with latex condoms. Actually, we did not talk about that. But is it true or false?
False.
I am going to go with true.
False.
It is false. Oil-based lube
Thank you.
can increase the chance of a latex condom ripping or tearing. So if you are going to use lube, which totally recommend, use water or silicone.
But I thought we were talking about the WAP earlier.
She mentioned that you got to use water. What she just say? Water-based?
She told you. Yeah. Or a combination thereof. You're paying attention, my friend.
Which would be silicone, yeah.
And don't use too much of that as well. I'm assuming.
Correct.
Yeah.
Don't overuse, don't underuse.
Hello.
Something that's perfect.
Next question.
All right. Do y'all want a history or do y'all want science?
Science.
I want something that JT is going to get right.
Science. I want science.
Science is cool.
Next to me.
Okay, maybe JT is going to get this right. What do penis owners typically experience during puberty? A, spontaneous erections. B, ovulation. C, wet dreams. D, wet dreams and spontaneous erections.
D.
This is a very tough one. What did I experience?
You already told us what you did.
I think I'm going to go with D as well. Just thinking of
weren't there only 3 years?
The exploration of my mind. I was having all kinds of dreams.
Thank you.
Hey, but I'm the most in tune with my body versus
we know.
Versus y'all. Okay, all right,
we get
cool.
it. What you got? I think I'm gonna go for the last answer choice as well. I just want to point out that you said penis owners. That's
yeah. So in sex ed, because gender again, like people identify different ways, it's usually best to talk about penis owners and vulva owners to talk about the science of things, and then they can decide like what their own gender. However, that specific body part will be specific to them.
Facts. I didn't want to run past that because that was interesting.
Yes.
Okay, you can tell me that I'm right now.
All righty.
So the answer is D. Yay! Wet dreams and spontaneous erections.
Oh yeah.
So point for you, JT.
Finally, he's on the board. All righty.
All right. Maybe y'all will know this too. True or false? A vaccine will keep your penis healthy. Is it true or is it false?
Wait, healthy.
I found false. First of all,
yeah, it's false. But okay, false.
I don't think you get to ask I'd say false as well. Let's not even.
What is the vaccine? I haven't heard of it.
Go into details.
Penicillin.
False.
This has no context to the question at all.
It doesn't matter.
False. False to false?
It's true. There is a vaccine. There is a vaccine that keeps your penis healthy, just like there's vaccines to keep certain body parts healthy. So it's the HPV vaccine to protect against human papilloma.
There's a vaccine?
Yes. So basically, HPV can lead to penile cancer, and most penis owners actually have HPV and they don't know it because they don't get tested for it. Because it's actually easier for women to test positive for it than men. So in order to prevent all of that, it's important to talk to your doctor about getting the HPV vaccine.
Interesting.
I thought that was for. Now, I'll be honest. This is again, education is important. I've always heard HPV associated with women. Yeah, I've never heard of a man getting HPV. Vaccine.
Believe it or not, most women get HPV because of men.
Oh wow!
Most men
administer it. They give you the HPV shot, in a series of two shots, I believe, in the military. So I actually,
I can assure you, I've never had the HPV vaccine
before.
I didn't. Is that something you would suggest people go get? Do I need to go give me a vaccine? I need a healthy penis, people.
It is just something to prevent. Like it's more of a preventative type of situation. So it's
problem for people who aren't.
Up to you.
Yeah.
Okay. And then this is the last question, right, Irma?
Yes.
Can we make this 5 points so that I can redeem myself and come out on top?
This is more of a historical question. The first electrical vibrator weighed blank pounds.
Ooh.
A, 5 pounds. B, 1 pound. C, 20 pounds. Or D, 40 pounds.
Damn. What? And what year was this?
There
is no years, just more so of like when they found archaeologically the first electrical vibrator.
First electrical vibrator.
Can I ask you
specifically
for women?
Well, I think that's who it was designed for.
Yeah, well,
that's a good question. Look at you.
That is a great question, but mostly women, used it.
Yeah. Okay. Do they have male vibrators?
But it wasn't used necessarily, but it wasn't invented necessarily to be a sex toy. It was, they found something that vibrated, and because women were at home by themselves most of the time, because at that time, like, women didn't work, they used it.
They got creative and hello.
Okay. Well, my answer is 40 pounds.
Because this was the washing machine, okay? Okay, JT, what about you? What do you say?
I was going to actually go extreme left too, and then go with 40.
Damn, I got to go.
No, to make things fun, I'll say 20. Okay. I'll say 20. Courtney says 40.
I feel like it has to be big, because it wouldn't be worth anything. Like, this wouldn't be a funny question if it were like a normal 5-weight vagina stimulator like they have nowadays.
The vagina engine stimulator.
Irma, vulva. There's some vaginal stimulation too, I think, from the looks of that device. 20. Can you run through the answer choices one more time for me?
She said 5, 1, 20, and 40, nigga. Like, pick a number.
I was trying to stall.
Talking about you. Yeah, I'm not listening.
So they both went 40, right? Or
no,
you went 20.
20. He's 40. What are you? 1.
I'm going to go.
He's going to go with no choice.
Pounds. I'm going to go
5 pounds. All right.
All right. The answer is 40. So
that's 5 points.
No one agreed on that. Sorry, I didn't sign my. I didn't agree.
Man,
I think I still.
So basically, the first electrical vibrator, it's credited to Dr. Joseph Mortimer. And it was mainly to relieve muscle aches. It was something to help people with their muscles. Yeah, it wasn't supposed to be for masturbation. But it weighed 40 pounds and it required 2 people to operate.
That is insane.
Did somebody sit on it and was like, whoa, and then it's stimulating those muscles?
The stimulation, huh?
Yeah, basically. But also remember, it took 2 people to operate. So it wasn't something that someone just found on their own. It basically was a 3-party situation.
Oh, wow. This is
interesting.
The more you know.
Interesting. All right.
But that does it, guys. Y'all did great.
Yes. Awesome. Irma, thank you so much for participating in our season finale and providing us all of those sex edge questions. We really appreciate you.
Yeah, man. This was really insightful.
And
it was awesome.
I think it's only right that we get right into our traditional segment called The Toast.
You got a drink?
I finished it.
Just-
but-
Oh. Gonna go ahead and pass some virtual shots. Yeah. Can you make a shot right quick, or can you get a drink right quick?
Sure. I'll be right
Yeah.
back.
All right.
You're gonna make her make a whole drink.
Yeah. Make a south side. Yo, that was awesome. That was freaking great, especially that trivia question.
I've learned so much.
So
I'm not
much.
gonna front. I came into this really confident, and I've walked away with some things I did not realize were. This is a professional, people.
Go ahead and wait, D.
Irma, that's water. I can
This is
tell.
yours.
No,
City of that is,
Oh shit!
She told me.
Yeah. She said that's what was in
Oh
the
yeah,
south side.
yeah. You did say that.
The south side girl.
So I just want to acknowledge really quick before we get into this toast, people, that Darian did win the sex trivia game, or as I should say, men don't know shit
Okay.
about sex. So please,
Alright.
can I get my applause? Thank
Yeah.
you.
That's too loud.
Yeah, man, I win.
Irma, thank you so much for participating in our season finale and for enlightening us on sex education. And yeah, without further ado, we're going to get into our traditional segment called the toast. And this toast from the Potnas is dedicated to you, Irma, for empowering individuals on self-care and creating and providing a platform of sex education for us all to learn from. So cheers to you. Cheers to the Potnas. Cheers to our season finale, and cheers to our prosperity.
Cheers.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Yep.
So it was a pleasure being here. So thank y'all for inviting me.
Yes.
Yeah, thank
yes,
I learned a lot.
yes.
This was really dope. It's really dope.
Yes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is all that we have for today and for our season. We appreciate y'all.
Now tuning into the sounds.
And we are going to get into our conclusion. That is all that we have for this episode. Follow us on all social platforms. Starting from the left end of the table, we got Mr. Corn Pop.
Hey, yeah. Follow me at Javon_Cold92.
All right. Dino.
Yes, boy, Dino, aka the Dictionary. You can find me at _DIXONARY.
All right. Before I get into my @ name, Irma, what is your @ name?
At Sex Ed with Irma.
Hey,
All righty. At Sex Ed with Irma. And I am at JT Got Soul. That's JT Got SOLE. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube at Potnas Podcast. That is at POTNAS Podcast.
And for any questions or any kind of feedback that you guys have, please contact us at contact@potnaspodcast.com.
All right. And visit our website, www.potnaspodcast.com. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Thank y'all for all the support and the love throughout this season. And we will see y'all in season 2 in a few months. Peace.
we out.
Peace.
Podcast, bitch. It's the Potnas Podcast. It's the Potnas Podcast, you bitch. You know what I'm saying?